Your body is glitching, and it has been glitching every single day since you were born. You get goosebumps when a song hits you too hard. You yawn when someone else yawns on the other side of the room, even though you slept perfectly fine. You start crying when you get really angry, which makes you feel embarrassed when you want to feel powerful. You get a weird urge to jump when you are standing on a high balcony, even though you don't want to die. And you stare at the ocean until your stomach drops, and you feel scared of how big it is. None of this makes any sense if you think your body was designed for 2026. But all of it makes perfect sense if you realize your body was designed for a completely different world. A world of fire, darkness, predators, and tribes. You are running modern software on prehistoric hardware. You are a 70,000-year-old machine trying to survive in an apartment. And these glitches are the receipts. Let's start with the most obvious one, goosebumps. The medical term is horripilation, or cutis anserina. It means goose skin. On your body, you have about 5 million hair follicles. Attached to almost every single one is a tiny smooth muscle called the erector pili muscle. It is involuntary. You cannot control it. When your autonomic nervous system decides you are cold, or scared, or emotionally overwhelmed, it sends adrenaline to that tiny muscle, and it contracts. It pulls the hair upright. If you are a cat, you now look twice your size. A predator thinks twice. If you are a chimpanzee, you trap a layer of warm air against your skin, and you survive a freezing night. In mammals, this reflex is life or death. But you are not a furry mammal anymore. Around 1.2 million years ago, humans lost most of our dense body fur to sweat better while hunting on the savanna. Evolution kept the muscle, but deleted the fur. So now when your brain tries to make you bigger or warmer, nothing happens. You just get these little bumps. Your DNA is trying to fluff up a coat you don't own anymore. Scientists call this a vestigial reflex. It is like an app that came pre-installed and you can never delete it. Charles Darwin himself wrote about it in 1872 in his book, The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals. He noticed that we get goosebumps exactly like animals do when they are terrified. Your body is literally trying to protect you with fur you lost a million years ago. And that one only needed your skin. The next one doesn't even need you to do anything. It just needs another person in the room. Second glitch, contagious yawning. For 100 years, we taught in schools that yawning brings more oxygen to your brain when you are tired. That is completely false. In 2007, researchers at the University of Maryland put people in chambers and measured their blood oxygen and CO2 levels before, during, and after yawning. Nothing changed. Zero difference. So if it's not oxygen, what is it? It is communication. It is empathy made physical. Inside your brain, you have a network called the mirror neuron system. It was first discovered in macaque monkeys in the early 1990s by Giacomo Rizzolatti. These neurons fire both when you perform an action and when you watch someone else perform the same action. They are the reason you cringe when you see someone get hit. They are how babies learn to smile. They are the biological basis of empathy. Contagious yawning is one of the purest mirror neuron responses humans have. In our ancestral tribes, synchronized rest was survival. If one person felt safe enough to sleep and yawned, that yawn spread. It cooled the brain slightly, increasing alertness for a few seconds, and then it signaled to the whole group, "We can rest now. We are safe." One yawn could put a whole tribe to sleep at the same time, so no one was left awake alone, vulnerable to predators. This is why you catch yawns way more from your mother, your partner, your best friend, than from a stranger on the bus. A huge 2013 study published in PLOS ONE tracked over 400 yawns and found you are almost 6 times more likely to catch a yawn from a close person than from a stranger. The closer the emotional bond, the stronger the mirror response. And this is why children under 4 almost never catch yawns. Their empathy system is not fully wired yet. A famous 2014 study from Baylor University gave people empathy tests and then showed them videos of people yawning. The people who scored higher on empathy caught significantly more yawns. People with conditions that affect empathy, like psychopathy, catch far fewer yawns. You are not tired when you yawn after someone else. You are sinking. Your brain is still trying to keep the tribe on the same schedule. Syncing with the tribe is easy. What your body does when you're actually alone and furious, that's where it gets messy. Third glitch, the one everyone hates. Crying when you are angry. You want to be articulate. Your heart is at 140 beats per minute. Your jaw is tight. You are ready to finally say what you really think. And then your eyes start burning. Your voice cracks. A tear falls. And instantly you feel like you lost the argument, even though you are right. This feels like weakness. It is actually an electrical overload. Your body has two systems. The sympathetic system is your fight or flight. It is gas. It is adrenaline, cortisol, your amygdala screaming, danger. The parasympathetic system is rest and digest. It is brakes. It is calm, tears, digestion. Normally they take turns, but extreme anger is so intense that your amygdala floods your system so hard that the signal spills over. You are pressing the gas so hard that the brake system short-circuits and activates too. Your lacrimal glands, the tiny tear factories sitting above each eyeball, get hit with both signals at once. They start producing tears not because you are sad, but because your nervous system is overflowing. Psychologists call this dimorphous expression. It is when an emotion is so strong that your brain borrows the expression of the opposite emotion to bring you back to balance. That is why people cry when they win the lottery. That is why people laugh uncontrollably at funerals. It is not because the emotion is wrong. It is because the emotion is too big for one channel. Your brain needs to release pressure. So you don't cry when you are angry because you are weak. You cry because you care so much about that moment that your system cannot contain it in just anger alone. That one only lasts a few seconds. The next glitch is faster, and it happens in complete safety, which makes it even stranger. Fourth glitch, the call of the void. You are standing on a high building, totally safe, behind a railing. And for a split second, your brain says, "What if you jumped?" You don't want to die. You love your life. You step back, horrified at yourself. Why would you think that? Psychologists have a name for this, l'appel du vide in French, the high place phenomenon. A 2012 study by Jennifer Hames at Florida State University surveyed over 400 people and found that more than half of those who had no suicidal thoughts at all had experienced this exact urge on a high place. It is not a death wish, it is the opposite. It is your brain's safety system being too good at its job. Your brain is constantly running simulations of danger to keep you alive. When you are on a high place, your brain runs the fastest simulation possible, you falling. It shows you the worst-case scenario so vividly that you feel an urge, and then you feel terror, and that terror makes you step back from the edge. The urge to jump is actually your brain making sure you don't jump. Your brain scares you to save you. That one protects you by scaring you into stepping back. The last one doesn't need a ledge at all. It just needs the ocean. And the final glitch. That weird dread when you look at something beautiful and huge. You stand in front of the ocean, or you look at a sky full of stars. You should feel peaceful, but instead your stomach drops. You feel tiny. You feel a little scared. You feel like you could disappear and no one would notice. Psychologists call this awe-based anxiety, related to thalassophobia and megalophobia. When humans were exposed for thousands of years, vast open water meant you could not drink it, you could not cross it, and something bigger than you lived inside it. A vast night sky meant you were exposed, with no shelter, easy prey. Feeling small kept you alive. It made you stay near the fire, stay near the tribe, stay humble. That little existential panic you feel is not you being dramatic. It is your ancestors' voice saying, "Don't go too far. The world is still big and you are still small." So look at what you are. Goosebumps for fur you don't have. Yawns to sink sleep with people you don't need to survive anymore. Tears for anger that is too big for your body. An urge to jump to make sure you step back. And fear of beauty so you don't wander off alone. You are not broken. You are just old. You are a museum of survival. For 99.9% of human history, these reflexes kept someone alive long enough to become your great-great-grandparent. You are the result of thousands of generations who felt exactly what you feel now and lived. Maybe these aren't glitches. Maybe they're features you forgot how to read. We're still figuring it out. That's what makes us human.